I'm Chris Schneider. Welcome to Lake TV's Classic Game of the Week. We go back to early October 2015 for this one, a battle between longtime rivals Eldon and Osage, the Indians and the Mustangs. They were both 3-3 going into this game and looking for a spark to finish the season strong. It's turned out to be one of the best games of that 2015 season. We hope you enjoy our Lake TV Classic Game of the Week from October 2nd, 2015, a heated rivalry game between Eldon and Osage.
And we're underway. End-over-end kick by Shin. Fielded inside the 5 by Riley. He's outside, has a block being pursued. First man misses. Riley's across the 20. Before being hit, and he's still on his feet. He'll be pushed out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 37-yard line. And Nick Riley, good start, but we do have laundry on the field, and that's probably going to be in the vicinity of an illegal block in the back or a hold. Yeah, it's a hold on the Mustangs, on the Indians. So all for none. So the penalty scoots the Indians back inside their 20-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 12, it looks like. So Eldon will take that. 11:50. We're just 10 seconds underway. Inside give. No. It's going to be the keeper. Good play on the outside. That's quarterback Wheeler on the hold. And I thought he gave an inside give to Dreyer, but he kept it as 3 yards on first down. So 2nd and 3. The throw into the over the middle, and that's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, Brenton McLaughlin. McLaughlin comes into the game with 20 catches on the year for over 300 yards and 4 scores, and able to haul that one in. That's a nice play by Owen Tam, knocking that one up. We'll talk about Owen Tam throughout the broadcast, one of the hearts and souls of this Eldon Mustangs team. Ball's on the turf. Wheeler picks it up, pitches it back to Pierce, but the Mustangs are all over it, and on 3rd and 7, the defense makes a stand, and they're going to give the ball right away to their offense after a 3-and-out.
Yeah, big penalty to start the football game on the kickoff. The Indians already had a little bit of momentum, looking to pick the ball up at the 35-yard line. The penalty brings them all the way back to their own 12-yard line to start the drive. So a little bit of a shot in the foot to start the football game, a 3-and-out, so a great start for this Mustang defense.
So Russell Williams in the punt. Good looking kick. Shin back to receive. It's a little shy and takes an Osage bounce, dies right at midfield. So the Mustangs are going to start with excellent field position here on their first offensive series, and we'll see if Mr. Hendricks can't get the Mustangs in business. But you love what this team's able to get done, and they're led by linebacker Austin Magnuson, and there's a busted play as Hendrickson able to handle the snap, and that's going to be recovered at the 44, so that's a 6-yard loss on first down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 16. We're joined in the booth by Coach Dylan Davis with the Eldon Mustangs, and he's up here giving us his expertise, so we'll get plenty of information from him throughout the broadcast. Inside give goes to Kidwell, and he's upended and taken down across the 45, and that's number 54, Magnuson. He came into the game with an amazing 70 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, and nice job by him to wrap up the ball carrier. So 3rd and 14 now. Ball placed at the 46-yard line. We'll see
big
what
game
Hendricks
like this,
can do.
maybe a little bit of the jitters getting in. A little slow start for both the teams offensively. Got a long 3rd down here for the Mustangs.
Hendricks gives it to Shen, and it's the pulling play, and he's going to be taken down from behind. Nice play, gets a few yards. That's Jacob Mason with the stop at the 45-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th and 5. We'll see if the Mustangs elect to go for it here.
With great field position, that's given them this opportunity. So that penalty to start the football game is playing even more of a factor into
good
this
point,
first couple
Matt.
of series.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you're backed up in your own end on 4th and 5. You punt the football, but in Osage territory, I mean, looks like the Eldon Mustangs will keep their offense on the field and go for it. Hendricks will line up under center. He's got Kidwell and Shen split in the backfield. Same play, it's the pull. And Shen's got some good yardage. He's running away from Pierce, the 20, inside the 10, and he's hauled down inside the 5-yard line by Brennan Pierce. It's Levi Shen on the run. He has 40 3 yards and a Mustang first down. Wow.
Yeah, back-to-back plays. They saw that it worked pretty well on third down. Picked up a big chunk, about 12 yards on the first play. They run it again. They pick up about 40 yards down to the Indians' 3-yard line.
So on first and goal, Kidwell keeps his legs moving. He's into the end zone for the Mustang touchdown. In just 3.5 minutes into the ballgame, the Eldon Mustangs have 3 and out, and they march 50 yards into the house. And it's a touchdown run on the legs of Trenton Kidwell. We saw him score a couple times a week ago. And, man, this Eldon rushing game is incredible. They came in averaging over 370 yards a game on the ground. That sounds almost like a Madden number. Well, it is. This team has seen incredible success on the ground, and they start off just where they finished a week ago in Versailles. A hold by Hendricks. The extra point is up, and Shin converts. So now he's just 4 extra points away from 100. So 3.5 minutes in the ballgame, the Eldon Mustangs at their annual homecoming lead the Osage Indians 7-0. So Shin now set to boot. It's a good one. And it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. He does that fairly regularly. So Osage has it 1st and 10 at their own 20. We'll see if their offense can't get something going here after a very stagnant first series.
Not give the Mustangs any turnovers.
Wheeler, the inside give, and nothing doing. I mean, the Mustangs just all over it. That's Lemon in on the stop. Riley, the inside give. He loses a yard, I believe. No, they're going to spot him at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 now. Here's the pitch. It's going to be an end around. It's going to be a wheel pass down the sideline, and he had him wide open. Brandon Pierce was stringing up the sideline. Edwards had a wide open receiver as Jason Edwards. Tell you what, that's a missed opportunity for the Indians because that was a nice play, very well designed, but not executed, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 10. You can see the frustration out of the Osage sideline as that one sailed out of bounds. 3rd and 10 now. Under center is Wheeler. He gives it to Pierce on the give, and it's stopped in the backfield.
Yeah, great start by this Mustangs defense. This Mustangs team came out ready to play tonight. Homecoming here at Victory Field, Eldon, Missouri, and these guys are ready to play some football.
Edwards now, the kick is fielded inside the 50 at the 47-yard line. So Eldon, for the 2nd consecutive possession, starts with outstanding field position, and that's because of their defense. Their defense has been just fantastic through 2 series. They've only allowed, they've allowed a -4 yards through 2 series.
Yeah, great start, and you can see where that's playing into this battle of field position. So now the second possession for the Mustangs with great field position. So look for them to keep the pedal on the metal and take it to this Indians defense.
So split backfield, we're so used to seeing that from the Mustangs this season. Hendricks under center. Inside give to Kidwell. He lowers his head and gets very little to nothing. They're going to give him a couple of yards on the first down give. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8. So 2nd and 8 now. 6:44 left in the first quarter. Hendricks to give to Shin on the pull. Bockham with a nice lead block, and Shin's down to the 45 before being taken down by Dreyer. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 3. The inside give, and they're going to get the first down. That's Kidwell. Trenton Kidwell, he is just outstanding. He takes it down to the 36-yard line. That's another Mustang first down. Kidwell came in. He had 588 yards and 9 touchdowns coming in this ballgame. He had his 10th earlier on the night, and he's just having an awesome season. Here's the give to Shannon. That's that pull play again. They pull the guard outside to lead block, and Osage really has little answer for that. Shin gets 3 yards on first down. 2nd and 7 now. 5:20 left here in the first quarter. The give, that's Hedrick now, upended and taken down after a short gain. Magnuson in on the stop. He takes a shove from Garrett Scrivener. Kemp in on the tackle as well. Kemp has 75 tackles coming into this ballgame. He's an outstanding linebacker. He was a second-team All-State, first-team All-District in conference a season ago, and he's had an outstanding senior campaign. So 3rd and 5 now. The Mustangs are 2 for 2 so far on third downs. And that one is stopped, so that's going to bring up a 4th down. I believe that was Kidwell. So we'll see what the Mustangs do here on 4th and 2. Sorry, actually the Mustangs did miss a 3rd down conversion on their last possession, but they were able to convert on 4th and 5. So 4th and 3 now. We'll see if the Mustangs don't keep it on the ground. They got him to jump. That's Kemp on 4th and 3, and he knows it. Senior leader on defense, and Hendricks, the hard count, gets him to jump. That's a big penalty.
As a result of the penalty, we have a first down.
Absolutely beautiful tonight. Beautiful night tonight here in Eldon. It's our second football game of the actual fall season, and turning out to be a beauty.
That's a huge penalty. So both penalties by Osage in this game. You know, the illegal blocking back on the opening kickoff, that cost them 29 yards of field position, and that cost them an opportunity to get their defense off the field. First down now, they give to Kidwell, makes the first guy miss, and he's dragged down by Russell Williams inside the 20 down to the 16-yard line. All right, so 2nd and 4 now, 3:10 left in the first quarter of play. Hendricks under center, he gives it. No, he's going to keep it. It's a quarterback run. Trying to get the first down, and he will before we have a collision. That's good for first down yardage, and the Mustangs are going to have first down and 10 from the 14-yard line. The Indians stick with that 5 down lineman, 3 linebackers. Rolling is Hendricks, the first pass attempt. He's looking for tight end. Hendrick, he pushed off a little bit, but it was out of his reach. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10. Inside give to Kidwell, and it's a solid play. He has 7 or 8 inside the 10. Here's the give to Shen. He is taken down. He's very close to a first down. We'll wait for the spot. It's going to bring up 4th down. He stopped just shy on the play. That'll bring up 4th down in inches.
Coach Jolly's got to be impressed with the way his team came out and starting to execute the game plan to start this first quarter.
Watch the hard count here. He's already got Kemp to jump once. We'll see if Hendricks can do it again. Here's the give to Shen. He cuts inside, lowers his shoulder, and he's inside the 5 down to the 1, and that's good for an Eldon first down. They're now 2 and 2 on 4th down on the game, and they've also got the Indians to jump. So touchdown, that's Kidwell, but I think we might have an illegal formation or shift against the Mustangs. Yeah, it's going to be an illegal procedure. Really an illegal shift is what it should have been called on Hendrick, who started in motion. We saw that play earlier. I'm not sure why that was called this time and not last time. Oh, so the linemen didn't have their hand down, and that explains why. Of course, Coach Davis, the expert in the booth with us here on Lake TV, giving us his expert opinion, and we certainly appreciate it because I would not have known why that was called an illegal procedure. So first down and goal from the 6-yard line after the first penalty on Eldon. Inside give to Kidwell. He lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown. His 2nd of the night, his 11th of the year, and the Mustangs up 13-0. Just love how long these drives eat up for the Mustangs. They're very lackadaisical, non-lethargic. Here's a nice kick up and through. So Levi Shin, another extra point, now just 3 away from that 100th in his career. So after 11 minutes to play, the Osage Indians trail the Eldon Mustangs by a score of 14-0. Back here on Lake TV, and it is the Eldon Mustangs in control so far. Matt, now with the lack of success the Indians have had running the ball through 2 possessions, I mean, they know they're outmanned on the line, both sides. So maybe put Wheeler out of the shotgun and some quick passes, maybe some quick bubble screens, some quick slants. try to take advantage of your weapons on offense because the line just getting decimated. These Eldon Mustangs are so big and so strong and so fundamentally sound. They're going to have to do something different. Of course, it's easier said than done from the booth, and that's why I'm up here not on the field, but got to see something different. Here's the kickoff from Shen. It's a high end-over-end kick fielded by Russell Williams inside the 5. He's outside. He's got some good yardage across the 20. He'll be taken down at the 22-yard line where the Indians take over right there.
Jason Edwards is the kickoff return.
Yeah, what I think is pretty interesting is just the way these football teams turn over from one year to another. You graduate a bunch of seniors, and the complexion of your football team can completely change from one season to the next. So it's really, it's tough for a coach to implement a style and a game plan, when you're turning over so many players every year.
Of course, Austin Riley at quarterback. They did go through the air on first down. It was a 7-yard strike into the flat, so 2nd and 3 now, and here's the direct snap to Riley, and he is taken down in the backfield by big number 68 of the Mustangs. That's Dale Folsom. He was having none of that, and that goes for a loss of 1 yard. Will bring up 3rd down and 4.
It's a crucial drive here for this Indians offense. They just need to buy their defense a little bit of time, pick up a first down, and there it is right there.
Nice job by Britt McLaughlin. It was behind him and short. He slid and made the catch, so that's good for a first down, and that's the first time the Indians have moved the chains through a quarter of play.
Yeah.
0.3 seconds on the clock, so that should conclude our first quarter of play, and it will. So after 1 quarter, the Eldon Mustangs defending their home turf. On homecoming, it's 14-0. You're watching exclusive coverage of high school football on Lake TV.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week from October 2nd, 2015, between longtime rivals Osage and Eldon. Now let's get back to the action on Lake TV.
Quarterback option, and oh my, there's nothing doing. Taken down in the backfield by Nathan Mislovich. That was a read option, and wise decision by Wheeler to hold on to the football because that would have been a fumble. Mislovich with the stop. So Coach Davis, would they rule that a sack, or is that just a tackle for a loss? It's a sack by Mislovich. That's into the flat now, and that's going to be intercepted by guess who? Levi Shin to the 10, to the 5, to the house, and Levi Shin, 32-yard pick six, actually 36 yards. That is outstanding. So it is 20-0 with 11:23 left. And Shen, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So it's 21-0. No reason to panic here for the Indians, but this is a big, big drive for many, many reasons. So Shen now to kick from the 40. Good kick, fielded at the 10-yard line. No, it's dropped. That's going to be Jason Edwards now trying to get outside. He does, and he's outside, and he's taken down at the 30-yard line by none other than Levi Shen. So it'll be 1st and 10 Osage at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 30. Out of the shotgun is Wheeler. He's going to roll to his left. Throws across his body into the flat. Brent McLaughlin has it. He's got 13 yards across the 40. That's good for an Indian first down. He has 13 on that, and he's already got 3 catches for 31 yards in this ballgame. Here's the give to Riley. He spins off a would-be tackler, rumbles forward. He's got 5 yards and first down. That's a good play. Very important here for the Indians. You've got to stay out of big yardage situations. So that means on first down, even if you only get 2 or 3 yards, that's much better than having a negative yardage situation, and that allows the Eldon Mustangs D-line to just tee off. So here's Wheeler now in the flat, and off the hand of Levi Shin, completed to Edwards across midfield. That's spotted at the 43-yard line. So the Indians now starting to have some success through the air, and that's exactly what I was saying. You got to get Wheeler in motion. You got to throw the football down like this, and Wheeler now with 4 of his last 5 completed passes, and he doesn't have an incompletion technically because the one that wasn't completed was completed to Shin. So Wheeler now out of the shotgun. Riley in the backfield with him. It's going to be a quarterback keeper and not a lot doing. Lemon, Backham, Folsom in on the stop. Cole Walker also in there. Kidwell also in on there. So a slew of Mustangs get in on the stop. That's good for just a yard. Bring up 2nd down and 9. Can't wait to see what this Wheeler kid turns out to be for the Indians. Only a sophomore, 6'4", 180 pounds. I'm sure he'll pack on a little weight over the next year or so. He could be a very dangerous quarterback because we've seen him make some very tough throws this season. Wheeler drops back, clean pocket, throws over the middle. That's deflected. Nice job for the 2nd consecutive play by Walker. And then that'll bring up 3rd and 9.
C.J. Myers, broken up by number 40, Cole Walker.
Wheeler in the shotgun.
3 wide receivers. Wheeler rolls out to his left, now throws back across. He's got Myers, the tight end. That's an inventive play inside the 20, taken down at about the 17-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 18. Big-time play. He's taken down by Dawson Brandt. And they're going to get 15 more yards after the play, maybe a half the distance to the goal, as it's a 15-yard personal foul. Not sure who committed the crime, but exactly what Osage wants to hear. Wheeler rolled to his left. All the defense shifts that way, and then you throw back across the field. Sometimes a dangerous play, but no one was there. And now we're going to have a false start. So now 1st down and goal from the 14. The give is to Pierce, and he is taken down. Kidwell, the initial man there. And also in on the play, Garrett Scrivener. Turned out to be a bruiser. 2nd goal from the 16-yard line now. I spot Kevin Burns. Wheeler now, I don't know where that was. Looking for Edwards in the flat, nowhere near him. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 16. 3rd and goal, the 16, 4 wide receivers split both sides of the field. Wheeler drops back, has a clean pocket over the middle, looking for his man, and an excellent play by Levi Shin breaking that up. They were looking for Brandon Pierce, who had a step, but Levi Shin breaks that up, and it's now 4th and goal from the 16-yard line. We do have a flag on the play. Might be a chop block. It looked like a lineman for the Indians went low on a Mustang defender. Yeah, it's going to be a chop block. I saw someone upended, thought that might be the case. I didn't see Laundry on the field. But if you're the Mustangs, you got 2 options here. You can decline the penalty, force them a 4th down and 16. Yeah, they're going to decline it. The Eldon sideline very adamantly signaling decline. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 16. It's going to be Jason Edwards to attempt a 33-yard field goal. Nick Riley will do the holding. The snap, the hold is up, the kick, and it's good. Good kick from 33 yards out, so the Osage Indians are on the board with 8:05 left in the first half.
And the Indians getting set to kick off after their first scoring drive of the game. 33-yard field goal.
I joked about an onside when Eldon kicked off to start. But Coach Johnson, very creative. I don't know if he would, but this would be a good time. That's going to be a low line drive kick. Bounces at the 16-yard line. Fielded on the hop by Hedrick. Tries to get outside. Now he does. Cuts back inside before being taken down by Nick Riley at the 25-yard line. That's where Eldon starts this possession. Hendricks under center. The give is to Shen. Outside, lead block, and there he goes to the 50. Inside the 40, it's a foot race. Brandon Pierce is going to try to catch him, and he will. They're going to mark him down at about the 11-yard line. That's good for 64 yards. Levi Shen, and he is now over 2,000 for his career. Yeah, just outstanding. It's good for 64 yards and just 7 carries into the ball game. Shin already has 131, and Kidwell just lowers his head and puts a boom on an Indian defender. That's good for 6 yards. We'll bring up 2nd down and 4 now. It's very realistic that this Mustang team has 2,000-yard rushers this season. Kidwell came into the ball game with very near 600, and he's having a good ball game tonight. I mean, he could be close to 750 after tonight, and then if he were able to, have a good postseason and finish strong the last 2 weeks of the season, no reason he couldn't. And of course, Shin will top 1,000. Inside give, Kidwell taken down. Good tackle, leading the way. The first stop was Dreyer. That'll bring up 3rd and 1. Give to Shin. He's stopped inside the 1. It's good for a first down, but No touchdown. Just holding on for dear life was linebacker Jacob Mason with the stop. It's going to be Kidwell into the end zone for his third score of the night from 1 yard out. 5:48 left in this first half, and Mustangs all over the Indians. And the extra point is up and good for Shen. So with 5:48 left in the first half, the Mustangs up 28-3. 5:48 left in the second quarter. Your score 28-3. Indians set to receive. Limai Shen does the kicking and about everything else for the Mustangs. That's a little squib down the middle, and it's off Ian Riley's hands and taken down at the 32-yard line. Excellent tackle on the play. It's number 18, maybe number 13, Brady Asbury. No, I apologize. Austin Kempker, the junior, and backup quarterback with a nice sound tackle. So Osage starts 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
See if they can come up with a score before the end of the first half.
It's a little read option. It's going to be kept by Wheeler. He puts his head down and keeps it for an 11-yard gain. So nice play by Wheeler. That's what I talked about. This kid really does have a knack for the game. I mean, he's very football savvy, making plays all the time. That one's good for 11 yards and a first down. So he's going to try to do everything he can do. After throwing that pick six, you know, he couldn't be happy with himself. Under center now. Wheeler the give. Brandon Pierce the carry. He's got some good yardage. No, actually across the 40, the 30, the 20, inside the 10, and to the house for the touchdown. That's Dylan Brown, the junior backup running back from 42 yards out, and the Indians have life.
Just as I mentioned the Indians passing game, what do? They run one right up the gut, a huge run, touchdown by this Indian offense. What a time for that. Exactly what this football team needed to get back into this game.
And the extra point is up and good by Edwards. So we have a ball game yet. It's 28-10. Eldon leads the Osage Indians. You're watching exclusive coverage of high school football on Lake TV.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week. The Indians and the Mustangs, Osage and Eldon in 2015. Enjoy the action on Lake TV.
So with 5:16 left and the Indians have life, we'll see if they can't get a stop. Because now if you give the ball back to the Mustangs and they come down and score again, it's really kind of pointless. I mean, you can't trade touchdowns at this point in time because you dug yourself such a big early hole if you're the Indians. So here's the kick now, a little squib over the middle to the left side, and that's at the feet picked up by Hedrick. He crossed the 20 and taken down at the 21-yard line. Good stop right there by number 27 for the Indians, Hunter Davidson. Here's the give to Hedrick now. Cole Hedrick across the 25 up to the 28-yard line. He has 6 or 7 on first down. That's going to bring up second down and 3. I mean, just so many players capable of taking a handoff and doing some things with it. Not just that, but you have Isaiah Moreta. He had 259 yards and 5 scores coming into this ball game.
Just an all-ground attack from this Mustang offense. That really is impressive to watch.
So on 2nd and 3 now. Hendricks, the give inside, and it's Kidwell, puts his head down, has a big gain. Down to the 43-yard line. That's good for 15 yards and an Eldon first down. You know what I really like about Kidwell? He never shies away from contact. He always finishes the run. He's very willing to lower his shoulder, deliver a boom, and looking at the kid from here and also from the field in pregame, not a guy that I would be willing to take a hit from. He is a mean-looking kid. And a little story about Trenton Kidwell. His dad, Dennis, was my bus driver for 8 years in Eldon. Gives the shin now outside, lowers his head. He has 3, maybe 2. They're going to give him 2, bring up second down and 8. Eldon has come a long way in the last 6 to 8 years as a program, not just in football, but as a district. They have been outstanding. So on 3rd and 3 now. Here's the give. Kidwell, no, it's Owen Tam. No, it's Levi Shin. There's a flag. And I think that's first down on a 4-yard gain. We'll wait for the flag. Yeah, and by the body language of Graham Bockham, it's going against the Mustangs.
Holding against the Mustangs.
And here's a big third down now. Eldon, after the penalty, faces a 3rd and 15. They haven't been in this situation at all tonight. Here's the misdirection play. The give to Hedrick, upended, and a great tackle by Britton McLaughlin. He also got help from C.J. Myers, and the Indians defense comes up with a huge stop, and Coach Johnson calls a timeout. Shin back to punt inside his own 30. Brandon Pierce, Jason Edwards back to receive for the Indians. Interesting set here for the Mustangs. So low kick. Takes an Eldon bounce inside the 25 and down to the 23 by Owen Tam. So good punt by Levi Shin. Need him 35 yards on the punt, and that's going to bring up 1st and 10. Jason Edwards, left side. Same play. Across, it's Dylan Brown now. Across the 30, we saw this play earlier. Across midfield, Owen Tam getting pushed. Good block by Halsell. Cuts across the field. Dylan Brown inside the 20. Now the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and to the house. And from 77 yards out, Dylan Brown, another long touchdown, and we have seen that play already. And just like that, the Indians are back in the ballgame. It's 28-16, and we still have 2 minutes left to play in the first half. And the Indians will go for 2. Wheeler under center. Takes the snap. Wheeler's going to keep. He's pushing forward, but he will be stymied at about the 1.5-yard line. So the Mustang defense do prevent the 2-point conversion. So it's 28-16. There's 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the first half. So Edwards now to kick. Line drive. Nice kick. Fielded. Oh, and it's fumbled by Hedrick. He now picks it up at the 10, and he'll be taken down at his own 14-yard line. And you get the sense that Osage starting to steal momentum in this ball game.
Yeah, you can just see the Indian sideline. They're just a little more, huddled together. They're a little more into this football game. I mean, scoring a couple of back-to-back touchdowns is going to do that for you. And now they've got a little momentum to see if their defense can come up with another stop.
So Hendricks under center. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be bottled up at the line of scrimmage for a modest gain, maybe 1. So 2nd and 9 now. It looks like Coach Jolly starting to question his calls earlier. We saw a lot of that pulling guard run to the outside, that halfback stretch where you pull the guard, and lead the way, and you get the fullback, or I guess the other running back that's split in the backfield.
There it is.
And we see it again just when we say you didn't want to go with it. Is it Shin or is it Kidwell? It's Shin. And they're going to give him 7 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. So and Coach Jolly elects to call a timeout. We're going to stay right here on Lake TV. There's a 1:15 left, 3rd and 2. If Osage can find a way to get a stop here, probably burn their last timeout and give their offense a chance to take a few shots. Yeah, Matt, you talked about it. After the first couple of series for Osage, they had trouble getting anything going, and we talked about it. Get some quick passes, change up your play calling. And since then, Coach Johnson has done a magnificent job of switching things up, and it's worked to perfection because since it was 28-3 just to start the second quarter, well, it's been all Osage after that. They've outscored the Mustangs over the last 8 minutes of the ball game, 13-0, and they now have the Mustangs facing a 3rd and short inside their own 25-yard line. Be interesting to see if the Indians get a stop here, what they're able to do on offense. Hendricks, the inside give to Kidwell. Look at him go. Nice job holding on from behind. Russell Williams was holding on for dear life, and he held on to the jersey for a good 3 to 4 yards. Otherwise, that might have been the 4th Trenton Kidwell touchdown we had of the night. So 1st and 10 now, ball at the 44-yard line. 1:05 left in the ball, or in the half. Out of the shotgun is Hendricks. He takes the snap, he rolls to his left. He's going to step across his body, he's going to keep it. Good run, and he's upended there as Dreyer knocks him down at the 45, but not before Hendricks able to gain 11 yards and another Mustang first down. And of course, in high school, the clock stops as they reset the chains. Eldon offense does an excellent job getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're ready to go again in this no-huddle offense. Hendricks out of the shotgun. He takes the snap. Now rolls to his right this time. Into the flat. He's got Shin, and Shin unable to hold it in. Looks like he took his eyes off the ball and had big things in mind prior to hauling in the reception. Stay tuned. During the halftime break, we got our Clark Tire halftime show. Look at Cole Hedrick with a little spin move on Russell Williams. And then Russell Williams, along with a couple other Indians, able to wrestle him down. And it's number 34 in there for the Indians, Austin Magnuson. I'd love to see Owen Tam get involved. I've talked about it many times. And here's Hendricks now rolls out, throws into the flat. He's got Shin. Nice block. Shin inside the 5. The ball's loose, and that's going to be a touchback. Unbelievable. Levi Shin, we talked about it in the pregame, had struggled to hold on to the football, and a great hit. That's going to be a touchback for the Indians as the fumble goes into the end zone. And just when things looked like they were going the Mustangs' way as they were going to score to the break, as fate would have it, the Indians get a big play. I don't know who jarred that free, but that is an outstanding defensive play. And when his team needed it the very most, the Indians, I would assume they'll probably take a knee. Of course, in this ball game, the way it's went so far, you can't assume. But what an exciting second quarter we've had here, Matt.
Right, that Indian, I can't believe how big that tackle that was made a little bit earlier on Kendricks, stopping him, hanging onto his jersey, doing whatever you can to get him to the ground. It ended up being a huge play, making this Mustang offense work down the field instead of just that one-hit touchdown. So
yeah, it
turns out to be a huge play.
It was Russell Williams held on to Trenton Kidwell, and I think it was Russell Williams that knocked the ball loose on the play. I can't guarantee that. Now, Eldon calls a timeout as they saw the Indians were coming out to line up out of the shotgun with 4 wides, and so Coach Jolly looks like he was also assuming the Indians were going to take a knee. And since they didn't, he's going to call a timeout and go ahead and realign his defense. So there's 16.9 seconds remaining. The Indians have it in just an incredible series of events that have taken place here. Interesting to me that Coach Jolly has no one back deep here. You do have him playing soft coverage, and that one is over his head, picked up inside the 5, into the house, and it's Mr. Chris Lemon. The fumble recovery for a touchdown, and Coach Devin Johnson cannot be happy. Just when it looks like things are going the Indians' way, an absolute disastrous play. The snap flies over Zach Wheeler's head. Chris Lemon scoops it up inside the 5, rumbles into the end zone and scores. So the Levi Shin fumble goes for none. And if you're Levi Shin, you probably go over to Chris Lemon and this defense and say, hey guys, thank you for picking me up, because that could have been a disastrous series of events for the Mustangs. So Shin in to kick the extra point. The hold by Hendricks. The kick is up. The kick is good, and the Eldon Mustangs lead by a score of 35-16 with 10.9 seconds remaining in the first half. Shin now the kick. It's a line drive kick. Fielded at the 25 by Austin Riley. Tries to get outside. He will. Now he's got something inside the 40, or across the 40 up to the 41. So with 3.4 seconds left, might as well take a shot here.
Yeah, what a wild series of plays we've had here back-to-back. That's a big timeout. Coach Johnson came out of this in the shotgun, looking to make something happen with 16 seconds left. Mustangs call a timeout. Then the Indians come back with a trick play, goes terribly wrong, fumble. Mustangs pick it up and score. Just a complete turn, a very big coaching decision there by Coach Johnson.
Yeah, great point. The timeout turns out to be huge. Now Wheeler airs it out, looking for McLaughlin, and it's intercepted by guess who? Chris Lemon. No, it's Levi Shin, his second interception of the night. And that is the way our half concludes. So at the break, Eldon leads by a score of 35-16.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week from October 2nd, 2015, between longtime rivals Osage and Eldon. Now let's get back to the action on Lake TV.
And we're back on Lake TV. This is the start of the second half. The Eldon Mustangs 35, the Osage Indians 16, and Eldon's going to get it to start the second half. Now look at the formation. The Indians have 6 guys on the left side, only 4 on the right side, and the Mustangs are doing nothing about it. Only 2 guys over there. I could almost guarantee this is going to be an onside out of the break, and I'm shocked that Coach Jolly does not recognize that. He's one of the most savvy coaches in Missouri. We talked about it, and look, nothing being done about it.
Let's see, they're set to kick off.
And for no reason, obviously. Kicks inside the 15, bounces, grabbed at the 12-yard line, and then back as number 10, Kempker, and he's thrown down to the turf. The junior at the 16-yard line, 17, 18, maybe the 19. So they're going to spot it all the way at the 20. So 1st and 10 here to start this second half at the 20-yard line.
And I think the Mustangs are going to come out and try to continue with their ground game dominance. Very big possession. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, just deferring to the second half and what it can do for your football team. So let's see what they do here on their first possession.
Inside give, and uh-oh. Good yardage. I think that's Kepker on the carry. No, Kidwell. I didn't have how many yards he had, but he had well over 100 in the first half, along with his 3 touchdowns.
Well, the Mustangs pick up where they left off. You know, that strong running game over the right-hand side of that offensive line. And it looks like they're going to try to continue that, control the clock, and just see if they can maybe see this game out with their strong running performance.
Yeah, I mean, averaging over 370 a game on the ground. No reason this Mustangs team is feared in the Tri-County Conference. And here goes Shin now from 65 yards out, takes it all the way to the house. Unbelievable. Just like that, the Mustangs add to their already big lead. And like I said, if you're the Indians, you can't let the Mustangs score on this drive, and they do. I'm not saying that's nail in the coffin, but we're very close to that point in time because it's 4 scores, and the Indians haven't shown but one time they can stop this Mustangs offense. And so if you're the Indians, you probably don't like your chances at this point in time as Levi Shin goes 65 yards. He now has 205 yards on the night and is just 8 yards shy of 1,000 on the season.
A really big start to the second half for the Mustangs. A couple of plays from the line of scrimmage and another huge Shin touchdown run.
And the extra point is up, and it is good, and that is Levi Shin's 100th career extra point converted on. So congratulations to Mr. Shin, adding the extra point after his touchdown. So with 11:15 left in the third quarter, the Eldon Mustangs lead by a score of 42-16 over Osage. She's got 2 twin brothers as well, Hunter and Harrison, and they are awesome family. So here's the kick, Mr. Dylan Brown, the big-time playmaker in the first half. And outside across the 20, and he's electric. Across the 40, cuts back across, and look at him go. Here he goes across midfield. The 40, down to the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. He scores, are you kidding me? From 91 yards out. Every time he's touched the ball tonight, only 3 times, but he's got 3 touchdowns, a rushing, a receiving, and now a kick return. Dylan Brown is electric. If only he could get some help. And the Indians, just when it looked very gloomy, well, don't go away just yet. Still a 3-possession ball game, but that took all of 6 seconds, 8 seconds probably off the clock. And wow, incredible.
This kid, Dylan Brown, has got some vision. What a great job following his blockers downfield all game long, and what a wonderful kick return. I don't know if I've seen anything that exciting here so far this year, William.
So the extra point up and good, and it's 22-42, or 23-42. So Edwards now to kick for the Indians. And it's a little onside. Picked up by Kidwell very wisely. And there's going to be a late hit, absolutely. Number 27 knows better. That's Hunter Davidson after the ball was dead. He spears the guy laying on the ground, and you can't have that penalty if you're the Indians. So Coach will talk to him about that. So Eldon's going to have excellent field position. I like the decision, but not really a very good onside kick by Edwards on the play. And nonetheless, Eldon has it. 1st and 10. Here's the give to Kidwell. He has about 4 yards up to the 45-yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Kidwell on the give. He has another 4-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Riley with the stop. Here's the inside give. I think it's Kidwell, and he has got 1st down yardage before forward progress is stopped. And it is Kemp with the stop, but not before Kidwell has another Mustang 1st down inside the Osage 40-yard line. His wife, Claire, was also an athletic director. They're Cub fans, so you got to love them. Levi Shin now the give. He'll be taken down. Hossell and Kemp combined for the tackle, and now we've got some extracurricular activity. Looked like an Indian trying to draw a personal foul. That's Hossell. Gets thrown. I don't know if he got thrown down, but he certainly hit the ground. Might have been a flop, and the referees were all over it. No flag called. So after the modest gain on 1st down, we have 2nd and 9. Eldon with possession and control of the ball game. They're up 19 with 8:45 left in the 3rd quarter. So under center now. Hendricks to give, and that was a scary-looking handoff.
Yeah, even
and it's a fumble, and Osage has the ball. I said it was scary-looking, and for a reason. The exchange never happened. Hits the ground. Osage gets the ball, and they're going to get it at their own 39-yard line. So not only do they get a big takeaway, but they get great starting field position. And this is exactly the way the half needed to start after that big touchdown. You get the touchdown to answer on the kickoff return, and now a big takeaway. We'll see if the Indians can't capitalize. Here's the handoff, Dylan Brown, and Graham Bockham is having none of that. He throws him to the ground emphatically, and that's the first time Dylan Brown has touched the football tonight that he hasn't taken it to the house.
We talked about a little bit earlier, partner, just those 1st down plays and wanting to get something positive out of them. And obviously a 4-yard loss is not what you're looking for, but
Wheeler now has McLaughlin, catches it at midfield, and he is down at the 46-yard line, taken down by Garrett Skripker. That's a touchdown if McLaughlin doesn't bobble it. It was thrown on the backside of him. He has to stop, and instead of just grabbing it and going, it bounces in the air, and that's Britton McLaughlin's 4th catch of the game. Here's the give to Brown. Lemon takes him along with another Mustang defender, Cole Hedrick, in on the stop, and that's good for no gain. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
So the Indians kind of going with a no-huddle, quick-look offense right here for their 2nd possession here in the 2nd half.
Fake handoff, under pressure. Nice job to elude the pressure. He's got to get rid of the football. Now he tucks and runs. Look at Zach Wheeler. I thought he needed to get rid of it. Little did I know he was going to tuck and run, gets positive yardage, and he picks up 8 yards. I guess 5 yards. I thought it was 3rd and 2nd and 15, but gets 5 yards, turning what could have been a very negative play into positive yardage, bringing up a much more manageable 3rd and 5. So nice job by the sophomore quarterback, showing a little poise in the pocket. Out of the shotgun, he takes it now. Rolls, throws. He's got his man, Jason Edwards, with the catch, and he's got 6 yards and an Osage 1st down. So look at the Indians on 3rd and 5. They get Jason Edwards in the act. Nice ball delivered by Zach Wheeler. He had some pressure. He eluded that, stepped up in the pocket, and delivered a strike to Mr. Edwards.
I really do like when they get Wheeler just moving around, even if it's just a little bit in the pocket. He just seems so much more comfortable doing that.
Throws looking for McLaughlin and just overshoots him. He did have Jason Edwards wide open in the flat, but Wheeler felt like he thought McLaughlin could get position. He did and just overshoots it a little bit. No harm done, though, on 1st down. That's a good throw. If you're gonna miss, overthrow. Don't give the defense an opportunity to get their hands on it. Live to see another down.
Right, Wheeler just a little bit too much air under that football, but good vision to find the open receiver.
Here's the give, and Brown, once again, All-State lineman Graham Bockham blows it up. 2-yard loss, and Bockham, one of, if not the most impressive defensive tackles, not just in the Tri-County Conference, but possibly at the 3A level across the state of Missouri. He's a lock for an All-Stater again this year, and this kid should be getting some serious college looks. I don't know if he has gotten any offers or has committed anywhere, but I know he's going to be an asset to some college program. There's the throw, and what a catch! It's Edwards from Wheeler from 35 yards out, and on 3rd and 12, it's a huge play for the Indians, and they score. That is unbelievable. Wow, Wheeler to Edwards. Second time on the drive that Edwards comes up with a big third down catch. He had one on 3rd and 5 for 7 yards a moment ago. And now on 3rd and 12 from 35 yards out. Beautiful throw across his body. Nice catch by Edwards. The extra point is blocked. Someone got a mid on it. I would assume Graham Bockham just by the size of that kid's paws. But even with the block extra point, Osage storms right back into the ball game. It's 42 Eldon, 29 Osage with 6:21 left in the third.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week. The Indians and the Mustangs, Osage and Eldon in 2015. Enjoy the action on Lake TV.
I just can't believe this barn burner here. I'm loving this.
I'm really glad that I didn't say nail, meat, coffin. That's one of my favorite lines, and I said, I wouldn't say that yet. Well, rightfully so, because the Indians just storm right back into the ballgame. So here's the kickoff, fielded by Hedrick inside his own 5. Gets past the first line of Indian defenders, across the 35 before being taken down at about the 36-yard line, and that's where Eldon starts with this possession. So it's 1st and 10 Mustangs at their own 36-yard line. There's 6:12 left in the third quarter. And there it is. Shin trying to break free, and once again Russell Williams holding on for dear life. Shin has 13 yards on the play.
To Levi Shin carrying the ball for the Mustangs.
The Indians' defense just cannot come up with a solution to that running game.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't think they'd have any trouble identifying it, but they're certainly having a hard time stopping it. Here's the inside give to Kidwell. Makes the first couple of guys miss, lowers his head, and he's got another Mustang first down. So, Eldon says, yeah, it's very cute. You got some nice plays. You've scored a couple of trick plays. You have the big kick return for a touchdown, but still, good luck stopping a running game. It's just not going to happen. So Hendricks under center. Here's the give to Kidwell. Very patient. Waits for it to open up, and he has another good gain. 5 yards. Now, I'll tell you, there's only been 1 or 2 times all night that Eldon's found themselves in long yardage situation. One on a penalty and one on a muff snap that was covered up by Nick Hendricks. Otherwise, every time on first down, positive yardage. Second down, positive yardage. And when you do that, it makes the defense tired. You keep moving the chains, and I'll tell you what, if Osage can't find a way to blow something up in the backfield like we've seen Graham Bockham and the Mustang front 5 do all night on defense, they may not get back into this ball game. Hendricks the give to Shen, who works outside. He's now trying to get outside. A nice job that time to contain by the Indians. It's Russell Williams along with Brandon Pierce and Kemp with the stop. Kemp, and then just like we talked on, they need some negative plays. Well, Shen loses 3 on that one. So 4:08 left in the third. A big 3rd down and 8 here for the Mustangs. They're up 13 points at their 2015 homecoming. It's Hendricks. He stops, throws across his body, and he's got his target. Yes, he caught it. Very close to a first down on the far sideline, and that's big number 33, Jacob Whittle. He came into the ball game with 132 yards receiving with 2 scores, and he is a yard shy, Matt. Good eye. I thought he might have it. You called it right as it happened that he was short. So great job by Jason Edwards to get the stop short of the first down. And here's a huge 4th and 1. Hendricks under center. He's got the 2-headed monster in the backfield. Osage stacks the box. Here's the give to Kidwell. No one can stop him. He's got 4 yards and another first down. So now they're 3 for 4 on 4th, or 3 for 3 on 4th down situation. They also drew Osage offsides in their first possession on 4th and 1. Owen Tam lines up wide, and now Cole Hedrick goes across the other side of the field. And now it looks like Eldon's going to have to burn a timeout, and Shannon Jolly is none too happy. Shannon Jolly, he made a name for himself at Osage, and since coming to Eldon, like I said, 2 district championships, back-to-back years, 2012, 2013, and he's made a brand here for Eldon Mustangs football once again. They always start the year against teams like an Academy out of St. Louis, Hogan Prep. He makes his teams play tough competition. They've almost beat Blair Oaks. If it wasn't for turnovers, they would have beat the 6-0 Falcons, so you really can't say enough about Shannon Jolly. Here's the give now. It's Kidwell, I believe. Once again, he lowers his head, and he has good yardage. We're going to give him, no, it's Shin with 7 yards. Hendricks under center, as we typically see. He gives it to Kidwell, and Kidwell going to be pushed back by Halsell after gaining 2. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. Coach Jolly his Mustangs face a 3rd and 3 now and it happens again on 3rd down. Hard count by Hendricks gets the Osage Indians to jump. Brock Henry, the culprit this time, and that's a big-time 1st down for the Mustangs for their recent marriage. I say recent, I don't know how recent. And Kidwell now from 9 yards out on 1st and goal to the house. That's his 4th touchdown of the night. So 48-29 now. Osage does everything they can do offensively, but their defense has no answer for this Eldon attack. That's the 5th rushing touchdown of the night. I know they've got to be well over 300 yards on the ground. They're probably getting close to 400. Levi Shin alone has over 215 yards on the ground, and I know that Kidwell's getting up there close to that 200-yard mark. So Shin in to attempt the extra point and give his Mustangs a 20-point lead. The hold by Hendricks. The kick is up. The kick is good, and he does. So the Mustangs lead 49-29 with 1:47 left in the 3rd quarter. So touchdown by Kidwell is 4th of the night, and with 1:47 left, the Mustangs lead by 3 scores, but I don't dare say this one's over because I do see Dylan Brown standing at the 5-yard line, and I would think Mr. Levi Shin has got directions from his head coach to kick anywhere but in the vicinity of number 5. And yeah, it's a squib picked up there by number 12 and rolled down to the 30. Nice tackle by Kempker. Nice job by Kempker. Ian Riley with the return gets very little. So 1st and 10 Osage now at the 30-yard line. That's a very big possession, needless to say, down 3 scores and just a little over a quarter to play, Matt.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to get – I'd love to see them let the ball loose a little bit. You know, you're down 3 scores. You need something big to happen. You know, let's use that creativity. Let's roll Wheeler out of the pocket. Let him use his arm strength.
Inside give to Dreyer. He's got about 4 yards. And really, Matt, it hasn't been a problem for the Indians to score. The problem has been getting the ball back from the Eldon Mustangs without allowing them to score. Eldon has punted the ball just once tonight. They have turned the ball over at least once. They might have turned it over. No, just once so far. Into the flat and incomplete, looking for McLaughlin, and overshoots him. Does Wheeler, so that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Shin had a good read on that play. He was making a break on that football. He just missed another interception here tonight.
So under center now, Zach Wheeler being pressured. Graham Bockham looking for him, looking for Edwards, and he has to overshoot him thanks to the pressure from big Graham Bockham. For being a big guy, he really can move, Matt.
Yeah, Wheeler did a good job. Good headsy play. I know it was 3rd down. He's trying to make something happen for his football team, but on that play, he just had to avoid the rush, you know, get outside of the pocket and get rid of the football.
How about a fake? I see Jason Edwards back at his own 20 to kick to Levi Shin, waiting at the 30, and Shin did have a punt return for a touchdown a couple weeks ago against Warsaw. We know what he can do when he has the ball in his hands, and Osage hasn't been able to stop Eldon. I would think this would be a no-brainer, yeah, and it's going to be a fake. Number 3, Riley, and Eldon has none of it. They must have known. Big-time stop by the Eldon defense on the special teams play, and they're going to get outstanding field position, 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. But what were you going to do if you're Osage? I think you have a better shot at coming out of the shotgun. Coach Jolly's seen this 1,000 times. He's coached a lot of football games in his career. When you know your offense can't be stopped and it's 4th and 6, I would have just came out and went for the 1st down through the air. Nonetheless, nice job by the Eldon defense, and they're going to take back over.
They're in a need to score possession, just try to make something happen. And unfortunately, the fake punt didn't fool anybody.
Inside give once again to Kidwell. He's dragged down across the 35. He makes his way to the 33 after 1 yard gain, so he's got 1 yard. Bring up 2nd down and 9. Excellent turnout. They fed over 100 people today. Kidwell now the inside give, and he's wrestled down very near the 30-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 31. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6, and that's going to conclude our 3rd quarter of play. So they'll switch ends after 3 quarters of play. The Mustangs in control with the ball. They lead by a score of 49-29. You're watching exclusive coverage of high school football on Lake TV.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week from October 2nd, 2015 between longtime rivals Osage and Eldon. Now let's get back to the action on Lake TV.
Start of the fourth quarter, it's been all Eldon Mustangs. Well, I say all, I mean Osage definitely not going down without a fight. It's been an exciting game, and so Coach is going to stay in the booth with us a little bit. So Mr. Henderson, talk to us a little bit about what's going on around Eldon and how things are shaping up on your end.
Well, Eldon, everything's going really well, academically, athletically, and everything. We're competing pretty high level in all of the fall sports right now. We're hosting the Class 3 District 10 softball tournament next week, so we're pretty excited with things going on around here in Eldon.
Beautiful facility of Court Victor Field. Meanwhile, Levi Shin on 3rd and 6, and the Osage defense finally finds a way to force a 4th down. Of course, Eldon tonight 3 for 3 on third or 4th down conversions, and they've also been able to draw Osage offsides on a 4th down. So we'll see here what Coach Jolly decides on 4th and 3, and we're just kind of talking about what Coach Jolly brings to the table, and you're going to be hard-pressed to find a head coach that cares about his kids more than Shannon Jolly.
Yeah, he puts a lot of time and effort in working not only with the athlete as they are, but also the kid and the human being they're going to be.
And we were talking about that, and meanwhile, Levi Shin with the carry, and on 4th and 3, it's the Osage defense coming up with a stop. That's going to be a turnover on downs, and it's Osage not dead yet. Boy, I had a blast watching some of your teams in the mid and early 2000s on the basketball side of it. Man, what a run you had as the head coach with the Eldon basketball program.
Yeah, I can't complain. We had some good athletes, and we had some fun while we were there. So, yeah, I'm happy with what we did.
Just outstanding players, like you said, Coach. Wheeler now across his body, looking for his man. Come back to the football across midfield, and that's a nice adjustment to the football. Wide open on the play was number 81, James McCann. Nice play for Osage, and look at the Indians. They are down 3 scores, but there's a no-die attitude in Coach Devin Johnson's squad.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate in our hires over the last several years. Coach Pace stepped down this last fall or spring in girls basketball, and we hired a young girl, Ashley Agee, to take over for the program, and the girls seem to be responding really well. Basketball, Brandon Cleathermos, he was one of my former players. He's taken over now, and we've seen a lot of good things out of him as well this summer. So, we've got Dusty Purnell in softball, Chad Hines in baseball. I think we've really solidified what we need to do in all the athletics to make ourselves better as a school.
Definitely. After the completion of McLaughlin, here's the throw into the flat. Once again, McLaughlin has it wide open. Nice job to recognize there by quarterback Wheeler. And I'll tell you what, McLaughlin, a very savvy play there just to settle into the open area in the flat. Gets it, and McLaughlin's been a weapon for Osage all year long. He had 3 touchdowns in the game against Versailles, and he's had a ball game tonight. That's his 6th reception. He's got 82 yards on the night. So I certainly appreciate you joining us here in the booth. For those of you watching, this is Eldon Activities Director Steve Henderson joining us. Coach, have a great night and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, William. Thank you.
There's the throw now on 1st and 10, and it's Riley across the 15-yard line. He's down to about the 12, so another 1st down. So Osage not ready to be done yet. They are down 3 in the time right now. Their biggest enemy, 9:43 left in the 4th quarter. They're down 20 points, but they're knocking on the door here. 1st and 10, ball at the 11-yard line. Okay, they spot it at the 9. It's 1st and goal. Here's Wheeler now. He keeps it, and he's pushed backwards. Nice job by the Eldon front 5. They would not be denied, and that's Owen Tam with the stop. Let's talk about this young man, Owen Tam, for a second. Young man lines up at wide receiver, probably the most selfless player on this team. Because you're a run-first team, that being the Eldon Mustangs, he doesn't get a lot of opportunity, but always the first kid to be congratulated, a player that scores. His stepbrother Levi Shin gets a lot of attention in the media, but I'll tell you what, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a kid as good as Owen Tam in and off the field. And now's McLaughlin from 10 yards out on 2nd and goal from the 10 from Zach Wheeler, and that's a touchdown. So it's 35-49 with 9:06 left here in the 4th quarter. Classes I ever had was his chemistry class my junior year in high school, and he was just a fun guy to be around, obviously. After the Indians tack on the extra point, it's 49-36 Eldon with a 2-score lead, 9:06 left. Jason Edwards set to kick. Nice onside, and that's grabbed by number Folsom. And he's inside the 30, and that's a great kick really had an opportunity to be knocked away by an Osage player. So nice heads-up play by number 68 for the Mustangs, Dale Folsom. He had a sack earlier in the ballgame, you'll probably remember, and that's a very heads-up play to not just fall on the football, but grab it and then make something happen with it. He takes it all the way to the 27-yard line, and Eldon has fantastic field position.
Got the ball right at the Indians' 27-yard line, so great field position here. With 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they're looking to kind of close this deal out here. Keep the ball on the ground. Hold on tight. No turnovers here. Just run the football, eat up some clock, and let's go celebrate our 2015 homecoming.
And there's Kidwell, and he'll be taken down after a gain of 3. Yeah, I mean, it's time for Osage to show us what they're made of. Their defense is going to be forced to get a stop and do so when Eldon has a very short field. So 2nd and 7 now. We're inside of 9 minutes to play. 8:38 officially on the clock. Be kind of cool to see a turnover here, just make things exciting. Here's the give to Shin, and he's upended, and he's holding his right knee. We'll keep an eye on that. He gets up, and he's all right. Nice job on the play by Jacob Mason. Gets the stop, and that goes for a 2-yard loss on the play. 7:50 left. Under center is Hendricks. Play action. Throws. And a miscommunication between Shin and Hendricks. Shin went inside. Hendricks threw it outside. And that's the best case scenario for the Osage Indians. They don't have to worry about any more clock running off the time as the incomplete pass stops the clock. It's 7:41, and on 4th and 9, it's decision time for Coach Shannon Jolly.
Try to draw them off sides again.
And they call a timeout with just 1 second on the play clock, so they are flirting with distraction, very near a delay of game penalty. But nonetheless, it's 4th and 9 with 7:41 remaining. Looks like Levi Shin is going to get an opportunity to add a 43-yard field goal to his impressive stat line for the night. And this is no give-me. The wind has died down. It's moving left to right. The hold, the kick is up, and it's going to be wide left. No, it's not. Right through the uprights. Looked like it was going to be pushed left, and Levi Shin gives the Mustangs a 16-point lead. That's going to be 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, and the Mustang faithful loves every bit of that. So 7:41 left, your score 52-36, Eldon over Osage, and the Mustangs now lead by 16 points. There's the kick, and fielded at the 10. Cross the 20, now the 25.
There he is. There he is, baby.
Is that Dylan Brown?
It is.
It is. He's across midfield, still on his feet. Look at him go across the 40, inside the 30, and he's taken down, and the ball is out, but they're going to call him down. Takes it all the way to the 24-yard line. That's good for 66 yards on the return. Here's Wheeler now, rolling to his right, throws back across, and undershoots, looking for C.J. Myers. Probably best that it did, because there were 2 Mustangs in the way of Folsom, as well as Cole Hedrick waiting in the flat for that. So that was probably about the best thing that could have happened for Osage on that play.
Unable to connect on that play.
Yeah, I love the adjustment defensively by Eldon to recognize that, because they were home on that one. Here's the throw into the flat, and that one's caught. Is that McLaughlin? No, that's number 81. Once again for Osage, James McCann. The Indians still in this one. If they get in the end zone here, they're going to have to go for 2. Wheeler now rolls to his left, now steps back, pump fakes, looks, and it's McLaughlin, hauls it in. Touchdown from 18 yards out. Incredible play. And look at that. It's time to go for a 2-point conversion. That's the 3rd touchdown pass of the night by sophomore quarterback, our spotlight player of the game, Zach Wheeler. And there's 2 Indians defenders there. This is an exciting ball game. So they're going to try, of course, 6:50 left in the ball game. An exciting football game we've had. One of the most exciting high school football games I've ever got to witness. Wheeler now throws, and that is knocked away and incomplete. Looked like maybe some contact, no call. Nice defensive play. Looked like Cole Hedrick was in there and knocked it away. So the score, Eldon 52, Osage 42. There's 6:50 left. There's a little squib, and that, is going to take an Eldon bounce. Very, very dangerous situation for the Mustangs. That's going to be an illegal procedure. They're going to have it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. So 6:50 left, and it's defense time if you're the Osage Indians. And if you're the Eldon Mustangs, just keep doing what works for you. I think defensively, if you're the Indians, you probably stack the box here and really succeed the pass. I mean, if they're going to go play action, you almost let them have it just because you know they want to run the football and you don't want to get beat on the ground. Kidwell the give on 1st down. He's got about 2.5. We're going to give him 3. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. I mean, really, if you're the Mustangs, it wouldn't be wise to pass. You don't want to risk an incomplete pass. I mean, just eating up the clock. If you get a couple of 1st downs here, you eat 3 or 4 minutes off the clock on this possession. Score or not, you really put the Indians in a tough situation because they're down 2 scores. And we are running out of time. Under center is Hendricks. The give to Shannon. Nice tackle laid on the play. I believe that was Russell Williams. No, it's Austin Magnuson with the stop, or Halsell. So 3rd and 6, big time play here for the Mustangs. Hendricks under center. He's going to roll to his right, looking, he throws, and it is incomplete, out of bounds. So nice job by the Indians defense, and they get a stop. So on 4th and 6, it looks like we're going to see the 2nd punt of the night. Not only do they get their stop, the clock stops. And so, I mean, Tam made the catch on the near sideline. It was just not enough room. Dylan Brown, the big-time playmaker, 3 touchdowns tonight, and he also just had a 66-yard kickoff return. If it wasn't for Dylan Brown, this ball game would have been over a long time ago. High, short kick. Takes the Osage bounce, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So with 5:20 remaining in the ballgame, Eldon has it. Osage has it, rather. I apologize. 1st and 10 at their own 37, and it's time for the Eldon defense to get a stop. This Eldon defense has really gotten gashed here in the 2nd half of the ballgame. Actually, honestly, ever since about halfway through that 2nd quarter, Osage has not had any problems moving the ball against the Eldon defense.
I really like what the Indians have done on offense, with their creativity, with their aggressive play calling, and on the right arm of Wheeler. Here he is right now, rolling out to his right.
Throws, looking for Brown, and Levi Shin timed it a little early. Otherwise, he would have had his 3rd interception of the game. Dylan Brown did a nice job turning into a defender and knocking that one away. Otherwise, that might have been a turnover. So 5:12 left. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Here's the run, and it's Dylan Brown. They give it to him. He bounces outside, and he'll be pushed back. There's too much firepower on the line. Younger brother of Maddie Scribner, she was an all-conference and district softball player, one of the better players of the year. That one hangs up there, and intercepted Levi Shin, his 3rd of the game, deflects it into the air and comes up with his 3rd pick of the game. You've got to be kidding me. So Wheeler has 3 touchdowns on the night, but he also has 3 big interceptions, all by Levi Shin. Play clock down to about 13. Eldon breaks the huddle, and they're going to use all 25 seconds every time. They always are good at letting the clock run out late in ballgames. 2nd and 8 now. Under center is Hendricks. Pitches outside. It's Shin trying to make his way outside. A nice tackle by C.J. Myers. Magnuson also in on the stop. And it looks like Osage is going to burn a timeout. No, they say Eldon, but Eldon has no timeouts. Yeah, it's Osage burning their 1st of 3. So with 3:49 left and down 10, Osage burns their 1st timeout prior to a 3rd and 10 after the 2-yard loss.
I'm Chris Schneider. You're watching a Lake TV Classic Game of the Week. The Indians and the Mustangs, Osage and Eldon in 2015. Enjoy the action on Lake TV.
Under center is Hendricks. He gives it to Hedrick on the end around, and Magnuson says, no, sir. Sorry, that's Chaz Kempf on the stop. Osage burns the timeout. Magnuson also in on it. 2-yard loss on the carry to Hedrick, and nice job by the Osage defense. So on 4th and 12, Eldon going to be forced to punt. I mean, the list goes on and on for Eldon. Low snap. That one's down and still able to get it off. Good kick. Bounces off an Eldon player at the 31, and that's where the Ball will be placed at the 31 or 2 yard line. Coach Johnson all about it, and they're going to give a pretty good little toss. Be 1st and 10, Osage, and for some reason they throw the ball back to the 27. It was touched at the 31 or 32 by an Eldon player. That's a dead ball. Yeah, and there the official marks it at the 33. So your stage is set, Matt. 1 timeout left for Osage. They've only got 3.5 minutes to go, and they're down 2 scores.
I'm looking forward to see what Wheeler can do here with his right arm.
Back in the pocket, steps up, now throws. He's got McLaughlin, who's wide open, across the 30, inside the 40, down to about the 39-yard line. They're going to give him 29 yards on that play. Beautiful play by the Indians, and Wheeler puts a ball on the money. So out of the shotgun, Wheeler takes a snap. He rolls to his left. He's going to throw. He's got his man. It's underthrown. I'll tell you what, it was going to be a touchdown had he been able to get that ball out to Edwards, because he was streaking wide open on the play, but he underthrows him. So 3:08 left. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Down 10 points, 3 minutes to go. Wheeler out of the shotgun. He's now flushed out of the pocket. Good job by the line. Back across his body, airs it out, looking for his man. He's got Jason Edwards from 39 yards out, and we have got an incredible ball game right now. Unbelievable. That's the 4th touchdown pass of the night for Zach Wheeler, and I don't know what to say, partner. What an exciting ball game. Clearly not over. Osage has a timeout. 3 minutes left. They're going to be able to kick it deep to Eldon and just hope to get a stop. This is a big extra point because you really love to make it a 3-point game. The hold by Riley. Edwards, the kick is up, and it is good. With 2:56 remaining, Eldon holds on to a very slim lead, 52-49. Edwards set to kick. And that's a short, high one. Uh-oh. Picked up there inside the 10 and then taken out right there by Hendricks. So excellent special teams by Osage. Eldon's backed up at their own 11-yard line, 2:52 left. And if you're Eldon, you're going to probably keep it on the ground right here. And if you're Osage, I mean, you just have to get a stop. Under center is Hendricks. He gives the inside give to Kidwell. That's good for a couple yards. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7. I'm going to give him 3 yards on the 1st down carry. And Osage burns their last time out. You know, I will question Coach Johnson. He has called a masterful game tonight as the head coach of the Osage Indians, but I'm not sure I like burning your last time out right there. But then again, that's why he's paid to coach and I'm not. The inside give goes to Kidwell. He's pushed back. Kemp in on the stop. And Magnuson and Hulsell, or Magnuson and Kemp with the stop. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 6, and I guarantee you Coach Shannon Jolly has to be sweating a little bit on the Eldon sideline, as is Coach Devin Johnson, as his defense is going to have to come up with a stop. So if you're Eldon here, do you put the ball in the air trying to pick up the 1st down, or do you just run the ball, burn the last 25 seconds, and then pray your defense gets a stop?
I'm going with run the football. Give it to your man.
It's Shannon. He stopped at the 35. So Osage defense gets a stop. That's about a yard shy of the 1st down. That's going to bring up 4th down and 1. And I think we're actually going to have an official measurement. And he is a little short. And you see on the sideline, Coach Jolly, he doesn't know what to do here. This is a very, very big call. If I'm Coach Jolly, I go for it. Only because of what I said earlier. Your front line has got to push all night. I know it's a gamble, and if he does go for it and doesn't get it, it's going to be considered the most controversial call in Eldon Mustangs history probably, and I think they're going to go for it here. Just like I said, they might try to draw him off sides. You got to be careful if you're Osage. Give to Kidwell, and he's got the 1st down. There's a flag. There's a flag on the play. That might be trouble. So it's going to be pushing the runner from behind, which is illegal at the high school level. You're allowed to do that in college. You're allowed to do that in the NFL, not in high school. That's Dylan Davis, coach of the Eldon Mustangs, up here in the booth providing that information. So once again, we're very thankful we have him because I wouldn't have known. That's going to bring up 4th and 6, and Eldon is going to have to punt. I'm not sure he notices it. Maybe it's not. I guess I don't know, but I think the clock is supposed to stop. So it is a punt, and it's very nearly blocked. Fielded there by Brandon Pierce. He's got it across the 30, and he's taken down to the 25. There is a flag down
That was
back
a marker.
here.
That was a marker.
Oh, no, it was a marker. So Brandon Pierce takes it up to the 25, and Osage is very nearly in field goal position already. Ball's at the 25-yard line. Play action. Wheeler out in the flat. Throws across his body. It's deflected and falls incomplete. He was looking for McLaughlin, but it was Riley that actually got a hand on it. So that was a dangerous play. Does fall harmlessly to the turf, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. I honestly don't think that Eldon's going to be able to keep Osage out of the end zone. Wheeler now out of the shotgun. Throw into the end zone. Looking. It's up, and it's intercepted. Owen Tam comes up with the biggest play of his Eldon Mustang career. We have a penalty, and it's going to be pass interference against Osage. Tam pulls it in anyway. It's offensive pass interference as the receiver climbed the back of Owen Tam to no avail. He holds it in anyway. Or do they call this on Tam? If they do, this might be one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Tam had possession, made the play, the receiver climbed his back, and it is. It's offensive pass interference, and I am so ecstatic to see Owen Tam's hard work and dedication pay off. I could not be any happier for the young man. Seals the game for his team. No timeouts for Osage, and that was one of the most exciting finishes you'll ever see at any level, especially the high school level. I'm excited, overwhelmed. I've got chills. Gonna have to contain myself here a little bit. What
Wow.
a play.
I don't know what to say. This has been one heck of a high school football game. And you've got to say what a great effort by both schools here tonight. I mean, an excellent show. What a game to watch. What a game to cover here by Lake TV. It's been an absolute joy bringing you this high school football game.
So a couple of victory knees by Nick Hendricks, and that's going to conclude the ball game. Just can't get over how much fun this one was to watch tonight. Just an incredible finish for Eldon. And, I mean, never seen a high school football game quite this exciting, and just an awesome night. 4 touchdowns on the night for Zach Wheeler, 4 interceptions, and really was a good throw. I mean, he gave his receiver a shot today. It was a little bit overthrown or underthrown, but you got to give credit to Owen Tam, the Eldon senior, making a play on it, and Tam seals the victory for the Mustangs. And I will tell you what, how exciting. One more victory knee by Hendricks, and that's your ball game. So the Eldon Mustangs, at their 2015 homecoming, are going to defeat their rival Osage Indians by a score of 52-49 to improve to 4-3 on the year, 3-2 in the Tri-County Conference standings.
What a great game that was. One of the best of the 2015 season. That win for Eldon propelled the Mustangs to a 6-game win streak. They would fall to a really good Blair Oaks team in the second round of the playoffs that year. The Indians would finish 5-6, losing in the second round of the playoffs that year to Mountain Grove. I'm Chris Schneider. Thank you for joining us for the Lake TV Classic Game of the Week. Be sure to join us again next time.